Hello everyone, this is Anton and welcome to What the Math. In today's video we're going to take a look at an indie space game, but I'm not going to tell you what the title is because we're actually taking a look at the company that made them as well. Now let's start with what this is all about. So there's this indie developer company in Croatia by the name of Just1337, or I guess you can pronounce this as Just Lead. And interestingly, I got a message from them a few months back asking me to basically take a look at their first game, and this was, I think, back in December of 2015. Now I was initially going to review it, but then I really wanted to help them. I wanted to help them promote the game, and I wanted to help them, get the word out because they were just starting out. This was their first game, but the game was so bad that I felt it would be difficult for me to make a positive review out of it. So I kind of decided not to do anything. You can see it on the screen right now. This is actually a game called ShipLord. It was their first game though, and understandably not the best thing out there. So I decided to just kind of say nothing and leave it be. I then received another message from the same company, and I think it was actually the same person, about their second game, and this was only a few months after, possibly February of 2016, and this time it was a very similar game with a very similar concept, and this is what you see on the screen right now. This is a game called Asteroid Bounty Hunter, also a 2D space shooter, and slightly different actually, a little bit more advanced, a little bit better, but despite slight improvements in gameplay, the game was still a bit too clunky, not really that interactive, and I honestly felt really bad promoting a bad game. So once again, I didn't do anything, just kind of let it slide into the abyss. Now, I would have thought that by now the game developer would probably either give up trying to reach me or possibly decide to pursue another way of promoting their games. But lo and behold, they messaged me again, and this time sent me not one but two of their newly released games. This was actually a puzzle game by the name of Neon Space, which I honestly was not particularly impressed by, so I'm not really taking a look at that game. And a third installment in their 2D space shooter genre, and here we're talking about the game called Survive in Space. Now, you know what they say, third time is a charm? Well, it definitely is for this company. So this is technically going to be a kind of a review of Survive in Space, a game that Just Lead created using the same sort of a template as before, but this time improving a lot of the shortcomings and making it generally a pleasurable experience. I honestly kind of enjoyed this game a lot more than the others. And for a very low price of $8, and that's without a sale, plus the Steam trading cards that you get if you purchase this game, and it's actually possible to get this much cheaper on a sale that's probably going to be coming this summer. I actually think this is a title that you may want to consider getting. Well, let's start with what this game is all about. You play as Sasaki, a pilot in a galaxy taken over by evil aliens. You must fight these aliens and defeat the ultimate evil so that your species can triumph. Well, that sounds like a very stereotypical storyline. We can kind of ignore it for now. The graphics have actually improved quite a bit, and overall the 2D effects and sprites look really decent. They actually are a lot prettier than they used to be. Not amazing, of course, but decent. For an indie company, this is actually pretty good, and, well, don't expect to be blown away, but you will definitely not complain about the graphics either. The art style is slightly amateurish, especially the cutscenes. I think all of them are hand-drawn, but unfortunately the style of the cutscenes doesn't seem to match the same design as the actual sprites in the game, so they do seem kind of out of place. But since this is actually a new company and since they are clearly learning from their mistakes, I think we can kind of forgive them for that again. Now, one major disappointment in this particular game, at least for me personally, is the voiceover. Actually, it is a huge disappointment because I personally found it to be a little bit too unprofessional. I would actually prefer to have no voiceover and just text, rather than hearing an emotional recital of plot by what seems to be a newly hired voice actor with no experience. Now, I don't think I'm being too harsh here because this is something that many people have mentioned before. But honestly, just, either hire a professional actor or just don't use any voice whatsoever. Now, the music here is kind of good. It's actually not too bad, although sometimes a little bit too fast-paced and may feel a little bit disjointed from what the game is actually going for. But interestingly though, you can actually add your own music as long as it's in WAV or WAV format, and just basically change it to what you think is appropriate for you. So that's kind of a cool feature to have. Now, the gameplay is really where this game has improved the most. The controls are very responsive unlike the previous games, the game itself is actually really kind of fun, and the shooter aspects, as well as the additional RPG elements, and the fact that you can actually upgrade your ship and your character to what you want it to be and what you want it to do, and then also replay the same missions on more difficult modes to get even more experience, is actually why I think this game might warrant some of your attention, because anyone who likes these types of 2D space shooters will probably enjoy this game quite a lot. It actually has a lot to offer to 2D space shooter fans, and there's quite a lot of things going on here. Now, interestingly, this game allows you to play as a casual space shooter, basically, or complete and total bullet hell if you want. This is all depending on the difficulty you choose in the beginning. And depending on difficulty, you'll actually get rewards according to the challenge that you wanted to partake. So if you choose an easy mode, you'll find the game quite easy, but you also won't really get much experience. But if you choose a much more difficult mode and add like things like asteroids and whatever else you can add in there, it will give you a lot more rewards, a lot more experience, and you'll also advance a lot faster. You also have several special attacks that you can use to destroy enemies. Specifically here we have a laser weapon and a homing missile, each of which can actually be upgraded via the shipyard after every mission. You have a super mode as well that unleashes a ridiculous superpower and makes your attacks very, very powerful, but reduces your shields a little bit. And all of this is actually kind of reminiscent of the 4 skill system in most of the modern MOBA games, like League of Legends, for example. So here the R button actually is responsible for your mega ultimate skill, just like in those other games. Now, there are actually about 50 levels in total in this game, or actually exactly 50. And each can be replayed on a more difficult mode, and the idea here is to continuously level up your ship. However, even the first 50 levels will actually take you quite a while to finish, and I personally kind of enjoyed what I've seen so far. Now, do I recommend this game wholeheartedly, and should you go and buy this game right now? Well, for the fans of the bullet hell genre and people that like challenging space games, yes, definitely. Everyone else, I think I would suggest waiting for the sale, or maybe even the next title that this company releases in the future, because I'm sure they will improve it even more and make it an even better 2D space shooter as they learn from their mistakes in this third installment. Now, I think the main lesson from all of this, though, is that you really shouldn't give up on your dreams. I mean, look at this company. They had clearly some kind of a goal, and their goal was to make an awesome 2D space shooter, and despite their initial setbacks, they just kept trying and trying, and eventually I think they will succeed and create a really amazing title. I actually applaud Just Lead for their perseverance, and I think we all have a lot to learn from them. Basically, just keep making what you want to make and keep trying and trying, even if you fail initially. Oh, and by the way, they did provide me with a free key for both of their games, that's Neon Space and Survive in Space. And I think I'm going to give them away to one of you amazing and fine people. All you have to do is basically message me on What the Math Facebook page in the next few days. And in the next few days, basically, I will randomly pick one of you. And we're going to do this how I did this previously, by using Universe Sandbox to have a battle of planets. Now, if you don't know what that is, you'll find out in a few days. The winner will be picked in a fair and square planetary competition that you will witness sometime around June 7th. Anyway, so that's all I wanted to say about this game. Give it a try if you want. Don't give it a try if you don't like these types of games. I honestly think this company will do really well in the future, and possibly in the next few years they'll come up with an amazing game, and I definitely encourage them to keep trying. Thank you for watching, guys. I'll see you in the next video. Game you later, and as always, bye-bye.